Getting to what Rod Farva asked there about has Ohio State found an offensive tackle? I think we'll probably see Josh Fryer start out at perhaps left tackle in spring, which starts in 2 weeks. And then whether he stays there or not, who knows? And then the other tackle is, I don't know, Steve, it's completely up in the air to me. It could be Tigger Shabola. Zen Mahalski was the backup at left tackle. You got George Fitzpatrick as a redshirt freshman. Enoch Vamahi has played there in the past. I wouldn't expect him there now, but there's a number of options, but I don't know that anybody is set in stone as to who that number 2 is. I think we all can agree it's probably Josh Fryer as the number 1. Whether he can handle left tackle or not, we don't know. That's something else we'll find out in the spring. So have they found an offensive tackle yet? Yes, but is he a left tackle or a right tackle?
Yeah, we don't know. It's all up in the air, and that's what spring football is all about. They're going to spend 5 weeks, 15 practices working through that and getting to the bottom of it. And it's not that important today to know. It's important to know, obviously, by the time the season starts, and that's what would it be, 15 and 27, usually almost over right around 40 practices. So there's a lot to be determined between now and the first game, and I think the coaches will put the best 5 guys they've got out there on the offensive line and give it a whirl. I think the most important thing is to build some depth, because this came up in my chat that I did on our site on Monday. It's kind of like when you go to this expanded playoff in a year or so, and you have the potential to play 16 games, there's going to be a lot of injuries that factor into that, just because of the exposure and the number of practices and the number of games it's going to take to play a 16-game season. And you're going to need depth at every position across the board. And, I don't think that you're going to be able to survive playing just 3 wide receivers 90% of the time. I think you're going to need to mix some other people in there, because people are going to break down. And I think that is something that college coaches, Ohio State coaches, whoever, are going to need to embrace, is that idea that, okay, having a starting 5 on the offensive line is outstanding, but you've also got to have a backup at center, a primary backup at guard, and a primary backup at tackle who you can win games with as well. And I think that that's what the future of the sport is going to dictate, just because it's going to be impossible for the starting 22 from game 1, more than about 16 or 17 of those guys, maybe 18, to be there starting the last game as well. So it's just a matter of attrition, and that's just the way it is. So we saw it last year with Ohio State, guys up and down the line, in and out all season long. That whole saga at running back was crazy. Travion Henderson would play in a game, finish a game. Mayan Williams would not play in a game. Then the next week, Travion Henderson is out, but Mayan Williams is going to play in the game, finish the game, but then and Travion Henderson's out. Then the next week, Travion Henderson is going to play in the game, finish the game, but Mayan Williams is out. I mean, it was crazy the way that those guys basically tagged in and out all season long. And all that mattered was that one of them was healthy for most of those games, which were already dictated as wins anyway, most of them, before they even showed up. But, things did get a little dicey there at the end with Penn State and Maryland a little bit. And then obviously Michigan and Georgia didn't go very well. But those are examples that you played those games without Travion Henderson. And, to me, as I say, on the offensive line, you want 5 guys starting across there, game 1 to game 16, whatever it is. But in this new era of so many games, it's probably not likely to happen.